Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Physician in the Kitchen. I'm your host, Dr. Monique, a plant-based board-certified family physician and founder of the brand Physician in the Kitchen. I help people discover, cook, and eat delicious plant-based foods because my mission is to fix America's health one plate at a time. Today, we are bringing you a veggie spin on the classic, pizza. And yes, while you have heard of a cauliflower crust pizza, raise your hand if you've ever used broccoli to make your crust. Well, if not, I've got something special for you today. You're going to get the same health benefits as you do with cauliflower, low carb, gluten-free, but instead we're going to add a green tinge to it. I love it. So before we do that, let's do all the things. Click like, hit share, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you never miss out on any of our plant-powered content. And be sure to join our Patreon family. By subscribing, you get behind-the-scenes looks, you get special recipes, and other insider perks. So click the link in the description. So enough of that talking, let's get to cooking. Today's list of all-star ingredients is as follows. For the crust, broccoli, of course, chickpea flour, spices such as onion, garlic, and fennel powders, salt and oregano, nutritional yeast, flaxseed eggs or flags. And to help with our crust not to stick as we're taking it in and out of the oven, we're going to use a little bit of semolina flour. For our toppings, we are using onions, peppers, spinach, garlic, and a few sauteed mushrooms, as well as mozzarella and Parmesan cheeses. And of course, we're going to make our own tomato sauce. Okay, let's start by steaming our broccoli florets. And I just have a steamer bowl here, a little bit of water in the bottom of our pan. And we're going to spread these out. And let's break this one up, make it a little smaller. And cover this and let it steam for a few minutes just to soften those up before we make our crust with them. While our broccoli is steaming, let's go ahead and make our pizza sauce. So I'm just using here a can of tomato paste. And you can add a little bit of oil to this if you want to give it a little bit of a fattier feel. You don't have to. We're going to do it with a splash of olive oil. And we're also going to put a little bit of water in here just to thin this out. This step I think is important to cook our tomato paste because it gets rid of that tinny or slightly metallic taste. If you don't notice that when you use tomato paste, I guess you can skip it, but tomato paste right out of the can to me tastes a little metallic. So I like to cook that off. So, and this is so easy. Tomato paste, cans of tomato paste are literally pennies. You can get them on sale, buy them in bulk. And that way you make your own sauce. You can control, of course, the salt, no added other ingredients. And to me, it just tastes better. And mainly, you don't have to put all that sugar in there. If you look at commercially prepared tomato sauces, they have a ton of sugar. Same for ketchup. And so when you make it yourself, you can eliminate all that. So once I put all my seasonings in here, I will taste it. If I think it needs a little sugar, I'll add it. But after all the spices that I'm going to use, we should be good. And you can, of course, do this in advance. Have some batches on hand that you freeze, and then that way when it's pizza night, you're good to go. The other topping I like to use for my pizza sometimes is onion butter. I'll skip the tomato paste, or tomato sauce rather, and just use onion butter. It's basically a few onions cooked down till they are nice and golden and soft. Puree them, and you've got a nice onion butter that you can use on pizza, you can use on sandwiches, add to soups, lots of different uses. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and add in my spices. To me, if I'm making an Italian dish, I've got to have fennel. Fennel has a lovely taste. When I taste Italian cooking, that's what stands out to me. And so I recreate that at home by using brown fennel. It has kind of a licorice flavor. I think it's in the licorice family. I have to look that up and confirm that. But that's what it reminds me of. And it just adds a nice taste. And I didn't add much salt here because I am going to add in some Parmesan cheese. And yes, it is vegan. And I actually like this brand. It has a low sodium content. Traditional Parmesan cheese can be salty. When you're using it, say, in a pesto, you don't have to use a lot of extra salt because you get that from the Parmesan cheese. So here, I haven't added very much, and I can add more if I need to. Also, I'm using some mozzarella cheese. So, again, you want to be careful and be mindful of your salt and where it's coming from as you build your ingredients. Let's give this a taste. We don't want this to cook too fast. We're going to cook this on low medium. That's good. Still tastes a little bit of the can to me. So we're going to cook this a little bit more. But my spices are coming through. Definitely taste the fennel, the onion, the garlic, oregano, all of it. It's delicious. I am going to throw in a little pinch of sugar. It's golden sugar, less processed than white, which technically white sugar may not be vegan because if they process it using animal bones, that's how it gets white. So your typical table sugar is not vegan. So you want to look for golden or brown sugar to get vegan sugar. And that's definitely, it's coming along. That tastes good. That is delicious. Still a little thick for me. So let's add a little more water. And this, of course, is going to be to your preference. So add about a tablespoon at a time till you get the thickness or consistency that you like. And that's looking good to me. And your tomato paste will turn a little bit of a darker brown color as it cooks. So I'm stirring it a lot because I want to keep it moving. I don't want it to stick or burn. That's good. That is delicious. Oh my goodness. Okay, I think we're ready to go with that. Okay, so now our broccoli has steamed, it's tender, and we're gonna go ahead and put this in our food processor to process it a little bit to make the crust. All right, so we've got everything in here. We're gonna go ahead and pulse this a few times. We're not making a puree, we are just breaking down this broccoli. So we're gonna pulse rather than leave it running full time. It's looking almost ready. So see how our broccoli is looking. I think we'll give it a few more pulses, but that's how we want it to start to break down like that. Always think about your finished product. So you don't want any large or surprising chunks in your final mix. So let's try to get it as uniform as we can. All right, now that looks good. We've got our broccoli nice and broken down. We're going to transfer this to a clean kitchen towel so we can squeeze out the extra moisture, and that way we will get a crispier crust. So I keep some of these on hand. It's just a big plain white towel that I use for squeezing out extra moisture and things. So it's not used for any other purpose, and that way it's just for my food items that I'm using. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and put our broccoli here. And now we're gonna just fold up our edges here. Let's get a bowl. Okay, so there is our little bag of broccoli. And let's go ahead and give this a squeeze. See if any water comes out. So really not anything coming out here. And I'm giving this, there we go, a little bit there. See that? A little bit. So give it a good squeeze. My hands are feeling weak. There we go. Okay, so not a lot, but some came out. All right, so now we've got our squozen broccoli. Yes, I know squozen is not a word, but hey, we squozed it. And now we're gonna assemble the rest of our ingredients. Now I'm ready to start assembling the rest of my ingredients. So let's step in our broccoli. And next we're gonna just add everything in. So our chickpea flour. Remember, this is gluten-free. Our spices, including more of that fennel. So pretty much everything I put in my tomato sauce is also going in my crust. I've got nutritional yeast. And then we've got our 2 flags, which is our flaxseed egg. So see how that's got a nice eggy consistency. That's gonna help bind our pizza dough. Okay, we're just gonna give this a good stir to get everything combined. This would be a great recipe to make for St. Patrick's Day because of the beautiful green color. So this is coming together nicely. Make sure you get down to the bottom of that bowl, get everything in there. All right, that looks good. I'm gonna give it a quick taste. Make sure my, okay, pizza. That is good, but I like a little more flavor. So we're gonna add a little bit more fennel and a little bit more onion and garlic. You know, a recipe, again, remind you of my acronym, is just a really easy checklist of ingredients to prepare and eat. So that means if I say use a teaspoon, but you think it needs a teaspoon and a half or a tablespoon, do you, boo? You know, we always say in this kitchen, you know, season until the ancestors tell you to stop. Now, I will tell you with fennel, you want to go a little gentle because fennel, like cumin, can be a little strong. So don't get too aggressive with your fennel because it may kind of overtake your dish. But a little onion powder. I find I can't go wrong with onion and garlic powder. I don't think I've ever tasted anything I've made and said, oh, I've put too much onion and garlic powder in here. So I just eyeball it. And the other thing it might be too is a little salt. And remember, salt is, if you're thinking of an orchestra, salt is like the conductor. It just helps everything come together and harmonize. So it should not be the star, but it definitely plays its role. Oh, this smells so good. One of these days, one of y'all is gonna message me and say, Dr. Monique, I've done it. I've invented smell-o-vision. Will you be my beta tester? Yeah, that's it. The New York came out. Did y'all hear that? And I will gladly say yes, because I've been waiting for this for years. Now, let's give that a taste. And I think this is going to hit because I can smell it. I couldn't smell it before. Now that I can smell it, I think it's going to be right. And I am correct. All right. Okay, next I'm going to dust my workspace here that I've lined with some parchment paper. Dust it with a little bit of semolina flour to help keep my dough from sticking. So here is our finished dough, and we're gonna put this on our, now this is sticky, so I'm actually gonna put on some gloves because I don't wanna have to keep stopping and wiping my hands, so hold please. All right, let's work. So another little hack I do to keep my paper from moving around, I just put some water underneath here. So that's what you see underneath to keep it from moving around as I'm working. All right, so now we're just going to flatten this out into the shape that we want it to be. And you could use a rolling pin for this as well. I find that just doing it with my fingers seems to be working, so why dirty up something else if I don't have to? So again, this is to your personal preference. So you make it as thick to the thickness you want. This is going to be a thin crust pizza. Now we're not trying to make a deep dish here. You probably could, you just wouldn't want it, you want it to cook longer if you do that. But I want to get more surface versus thickness, so I'm gonna spread mine out. Plus I've got all these toppings I gotta fit on here, so I'm going to make mine fairly thinner. It's about 1/4 inch or so. Doesn't have to be perfect. It's not a perfect circle, that's okay. You can even make this into a rectangle if you want, so that when it's done you can cut them into nice cute little triangles. You could do that as well. But we are going for kind of the classic pizza look here. Let's tuck in our edges. Oh, this is so pretty. Is that not just gorgeous? I love it. I love pretty food. Because as you know, we eat with our eyes first. And if something doesn't look right, you're like, I'm not eating that. So eating is a 5 sense experience. We eat with our eyes, we smell, we taste, we touch, and we feel it in our mouths, right? And so those of us with texture issues, myself included, who may not like unexpected textures, I'm talking to you. All right. To put unexpected textures, I mean, like if you're expecting something to be smooth like a smoothie, and then all of a sudden there's like a chunk of something in there, raise your hands if it's, but I don't think it's just me. Maybe it is. But if there's something like unexpected, like a chunk of something that didn't get processed, it really throws me for a loop. I think that looks good, guys. So we're gonna pop this in the oven and let it bake for about 20 minutes before we put our toppings on there, because of course this is a moist crust and we need it to solidify before we bake it. So voila, let's go ahead and pop this in the oven. And I'm gonna use one of my gadgets. This is a pizza peel. Basically just a large flat surface with a handle. You've seen them in pizzerias. This is what they use to put the pizza in, take the pizza out. So we're gonna do that here. But before I put my pizza on, I'm gonna also put a little semolina flour on my pizza peel, which will help to slide off and on. Okay, now let's go pop that in the oven. All right, now we're ready to pop it into the oven. And I'm using a pizza stone. Again, trying to recreate what they do in the pizza places that you may use. We're trying to get that at-home pizzeria experience. That's better. See how the semolina helps it to slide off. I just want to make sure it's not hanging off the edges. Perfection. I love it. I love it. There we go. Okay, it's time to remove our pizza crust. Look at that. This is about, I forgot to mention, This is about 12 inches or so. So that is how wide our pizza crust is. And I'm going to let it cool a little bit. See, we've got a nice little crust there going on. But I'm going to let it cool before I add my toppings, and then we'll pop it back in the oven. Doctor's orders. Broccoli is a member of the cruciferous family of vegetables that includes cabbage, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, collard and mustard greens, kale, watercress, and arugula, just to name a few. Broccoli is known for its bright green color, but did you know that it also comes in purple, yellow, and white hues? Look for these varieties at your local farmers markets. Let's look at the health benefits of broccoli. Rich in antioxidants, which helps neutralize toxins, reduce inflammation, and may lower cancer risk. Supports heart health. Broccoli is high in fiber, potassium, and antioxidants, and helps regulate blood pressure and cholesterol. Boosts immunity. Broccoli is loaded with vitamin C, which supports immune function and helps combat infections. Improves digestive health. High in dietary fiber, broccoli promotes regular bowel movements and gut health. Supports bone health. Broccoli is a good source of vitamin K and calcium, both of which are essential for strong bones and preventing osteoporosis. Anti-inflammatory properties. Broccoli is rich in the anti-inflammatories, flavonoids, and carotenoids that help reduce chronic inflammation. Eye health protection. It contains lutein and zeaxanthin, antioxidants that protect against age-related macular degeneration, a leading cause of blindness. May support healthy blood sugar levels. The antioxidants and fiber in broccoli may aid in blood sugar control and insulin sensitivity. The nutritional content of 1 cup cooked broccoli, or about 156 grams, is 55 calories, 4 grams of proteins, 11 grams of carbs, and 5 grams of fiber. It also contains significant amounts of minerals such as calcium, iron, and potassium, and vitamins C, K, A, and folate. Add broccoli to your meals 2 to 3 times a week, steamed, roasted, or blended into soups to reap its full health protective benefits. Pair with a sprinkle of lemon juice or mustard to enhance its antioxidant powers even more. Okay, so our crust has cooled and I've softened it up from the paper, broken it up from the paper so that I can remove it. And we're going to put it directly on our peel. Parchment paper has done its job. And let me just show you that I've got some semolina flour. We're going to put a little bit more. And see how my crust is holding together? That's from the flag. We're going to go ahead and build our pizza. So we're going to start with our tomato sauce. Start from the middle, work our way out. And a little more. It smells so good, guys. Leaving a rim, the edge around the edge here, leaving space around our edges. Again, you can do onion butter with this. You can do any type of puree, really, that you want. So all this is a tomato puree, right? So build your pizza your way. Have fun with it. Then next, we're going to add in our cheese. And one complaint about vegan cheese is that it doesn't melt. So I do like this brand. This is Violife that I use. So we're doing a little bit of mozzarella. And we're going to do a little bit of Parmesan because we can. Because what's a pizza without the cheese? And then we're going to go ahead and layer on our veggies. Because remember, this is a veggie pizza. So I'm going to put my spinach leaves down first. These are just roughly chopped. Tear them apart with your fingers. Oh, this is beautiful. This is already so pretty. I love it. I love it. I love it. And then I've got some beautiful orange bell peppers here. Spread those around. Got some beautiful red onion. What? Give your friends all the pizza envy when they see you make this at home. Then I've got those mushrooms that I just sauteed a little bit. Didn't even use any oil. I just let them brown in a little bit of their own liquid so that they crisp up for us. And then I've got some thinly sliced garlic that I want to caramelize in the oven. And that's it, guys. That's our pizza. So we're going to pop this back in our 400-degree oven and let it bake for about 8 minutes. All right, here we go. Back into our oven. And I'm going to shake that in there. See how easily that's going in? That's because of that semolina flour. Beautiful. And my stone is super hot. That's going to make for a nice and crispy crust. Okay, it's time to take our pizza out. Coming right off on our pizza peel. Our veggies are nice and browned. And we're gonna let our crust cool and then we will slice it. Okay, now it's time to give our pizza a cut. Get that nice crispy crust we've got going here. And slice this so we can get into it. All right, look at that. Okay guys, now it's time for my favorite part, which is the taste testing. So one other little note, when you're letting it cool down, take it off of your peel or whatever you're using to take it out of the oven and let it, if you've got a actual like cookie sheet or cooling rack, put it on that so that your crust stays nice and crisp. All right, so there we've got our cheese. You see our melted cheese on there. We've got a ton of vegetables and a veggie crust. So, the crust is crispy. Got a little bite to it, a little crisp to it. Our vegetables are the right texture. They are softened but not mushy, and they're not too hard. The tomato paste, I taste the different flavors in my tomato sauce. And I'm from New York, so that means we gotta fold it. If you're a New Yorker, you know what I mean. You gotta blotch your pizza first and then fold it. But with this, you don't have to worry about blotting it because all that grease is not there. So just fold it and enjoy. This is good. I will be having this for lunch. And if you want to enjoy this the next day, just pop it into your toaster oven or even in the toaster. If you got, like, they sell these little pouches. That one right here. These things are so cool. They're little pouches. I think they're made out of silicone. And all you have to do is slide your pizza or whatever it is you're reheating into one of these pouches and then put this down in your toaster and toast it that way, warm it up that way. Or you can pop it into your toaster oven. I wouldn't do it in the microwave because I don't know how your crust will hold up with that. But, or if you're like me and you just like cold pizza the next day, you can do that and don't even have to worry about warming it up. So if you make this recipe, please let me know. Tag me at Physician in the Kitchen on all platforms. Be sure to hit click, like, share, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so that you never miss out on any of our plant power content. And be sure to join our Patreon family for some really cool insider perks. Until next time, I am Dr. Monique, telling you to keep it 100. Plant-based, that is. Eat well.